incredible story of the water cycle. But, we're going to do it with a little twist. We're going to follow the entire thing through the eyes of one single, very adventurous water droplet. Just let that sink in for a second. Every single drop of water on this planet is ancient. It's been recycled over and over and over again for billions of years. Seriously, the water you're drinking right now, a dinosaur probably drank it first. How wild is that? So to really get a handle on this massive, planet-wide system, let's zoom all the way in. We're going to follow just one of these ancient travelers. Let's call him our hero, a single droplet of water just about to kick off one heck of an adventure. Okay, so our droplet story starts in the middle of the huge, wide ocean. It's just, hanging out when it gets a call to adventure from the biggest, most powerful thing in our solar system, the sun. And this, my friends, is stage 1, evaporation. So what exactly is evaporation? Well, it's basically a total makeover. The sun's energy warms up the surface of the water, and this gives our little droplet enough of a kick to change from a liquid into an invisible gas. We call that gas water vapor. So how does this work on a tiny, tiny level? Well, think of it like this. The sun's heat is like a shot of espresso for the little particles in our droplet. They get this huge energy boost and start to vibrate and dance around faster and faster until, bam, they literally break free from the other particles and escape, floating up into the atmosphere. All right, so our droplet, which is now just a speck of water vapor, is rising higher and higher. But its journey as a lone gas particle is about to end. See, it's time to find some buddies and build something brand new. This brings us to the next stage, condensation. Condensation is pretty much the exact opposite of evaporation. As our water vapor particle travels way up high into the atmosphere, things get really cold. And that cold air makes it change back from a gas into a teeny tiny liquid droplet. It then joins up with billions of others to form the clouds we see. So if we look at the particles again, it's the reverse of what happened before. As they get colder, they lose all that buzzy energy. They slow way down and start to huddle together, kind of like penguins in the cold, clumping up into those tiny liquid droplets that make up a cloud. So now our droplet is part of this massive team, a cloud. And it is not just sitting there. There are these super powerful air currents way up in the atmosphere that act like giant conveyor belts, pushing these clouds all around the globe. Our little droplet is officially a world traveler now. As our droplet's cloud cruises along, it starts bumping into other clouds, grabbing more and more water. It gets bigger and heavier. And eventually, it just gets too heavy for the air to hold it up anymore. Something's got to give. And this leads us to the climax of the whole journey, precipitation. Right, so the cloud is at its limit. It's bursting at the seams, and all those droplets have to come back down. But how? I mean, what form will our hero take for its big return? Well, that all depends on one thing, the temperature. The fancy scientific name for this whole return trip is precipitation. It's basically a catch-all term for any kind of water, whether it's liquid or solid, that falls from the sky and makes it back down to Earth. And these are the main ways it can happen. If it's warm enough, our droplet just falls as good old-fashioned rain. But if it's colder, it might freeze into a delicate little ice crystal and fall as snow. Or it could become a tiny ice pellet we call sleet. Or, if it gets tossed around inside a stormy cloud, it could even grow into a solid lump of ice we know as hail. Ouch! Touchdown! Our droplet has officially made it back to Earth's surface. But wait, the adventure is not over yet, not by a long shot. Now it has to figure out how to get back to a big body of water to finish the loop, and this final part of the journey is called collection. Think about it. Our droplet could have landed anywhere. On a leaf, in a rainforest, on a snowy mountaintop, maybe even on a busy city street. So, what happens now? Well, where it goes next really depends on where it landed. When it lands on the ground, it usually takes one of two main paths. It might just flow right over the surface, joining up with streams and rivers on a direct path to the ocean, we call that surface runoff, or it could soak deep down into the earth, becoming groundwater, and travel super slowly through layers of dirt and rock. Of course, there are some other possibilities. Our droplet could get lucky and skip the whole land journey, falling straight back into an ocean or a lake. Or, if it fell as snow somewhere really cold, it could become part of a giant glacier, where it might stay frozen for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years, before it finally melts and gets moving again. And just like that, our droplet makes its way back to where it started, completing one full lap. But here's the thing. This is never really the end. It's just one turn on a wheel that is always, always spinning. So let's do a super quick recap of this amazing journey, shall we? First, you have evaporation, where the sun's energy lifts the water up. Then condensation, where it gets cold and forms clouds. After that, precipitation brings it all crashing back down. And finally, collection, where it all gathers together again, just waiting for the sun to kick off the next adventure. And that's really the most important thing to remember. The water cycle is one of the most critical systems on Earth. It's like a giant, natural recycling machine that's constantly cleaning and moving our planet's most precious resource, making sure that life can exist pretty much everywhere. Just try to wrap your head around the scale of this. This system, this cycle, has been running without a break for over 4 billion years. Every single drop of water you've ever seen has made this journey more times than you can possibly imagine. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So our hero is back in the ocean, just waiting. This particular journey is over, for now. But you know the sun is going to call again, and a whole new adventure will begin. So the question is, where do you think that journey will take it next time?